It's 28th of July and it's time for another greenhouse update. So let's get in there and see what's going on. First 4 weeks of summer have been absolutely amazing in terms of weather. We haven't had much rain though, which has been a problem. It's been a bit of a pain in the neck having to water everything by hand, but here we are. It is what it is. But it's benefited the plants, especially the chilies, the peppers. And so we'll just take you around the small greenhouse first. These are sweet peppers. This is Cornel Rosso, and as you can see, they're coming along fine. 2 of these plants, they're loaded with fruit and they're doing very well with it. So I'm happy with that. Climbing in amongst it, you can see we've got a little melon. This is a Tasty Bites melon and plant, and we have some small sort of fruits coming on it now. It's been a long time coming, but we'll see how they come about. We've got a watermelon in the polytunnel, which I'll probably tag on at the back of this video just to show you. Next up we have a prairie fire chili. I had a taste of one of these the other night and it was very hot. It was very, very hot and not really tasty, but hot, you know. So these are kind of things that I'll add to, I think I said this previously as well, they'll probably just get added to things to spice them up rather than in terms to add flavour. We've got a few ripe in there now. And this is bushed out quite a lot. I mean, this was, I think the last video I did, this was only probably about the size of my hand, so it's done well. Next up, to lift that, we've got de España, which is from Rare Seeds in America. And these are looking beautiful. They're very similar to the Toro Rossos, but these will colour differently and flatten up a little bit, I think. Just need to wait and see what happens with them. But again, this one's completely loaded with fruit and doing very well. Next up, over here we have a California Wonder. This one, I can't remember what seed company this was. Johnson's, I think, maybe. But we'll I'll double check that and put it underneath it in the comments. It's doing quite well. A lot of kind of large, thick-walled fruit, which is good. I like thick-walled stuff. Good for stuffing, probably. Next up, we've got a Zulu pepper. This one has actually collapsed under the weight of the fruit, even with the support that it's got. It's as you can see, it's loaded with it. These aren't, I'm not expecting these to get very big, the fruits. I'll start picking them shortly. I think there's a couple of them starting to ripen. You can see the colour changing a little bit, so we'll see what happens with them. These again came from Rare Seeds in America and Baker Creek ALM seeds. I'll leave a link in the comments. This is the other Cornel Rosso. Look at the size of that. The fruit is amazing. As you can hear in the background, the wind's kind of buffeting us about a little bit. We had a bit of a storm last night and a lot of rain, and the winds haven't quite died down yet. It's not hugely annoying, but look at that. That's amazing. There's another one at the back. Oh, and yet another one I can see out there, so I'm happy with that. Moving on over here, I stuck in a squash plant, a buttercup, Burgess buttercup from Real Seeds, just to see. I planted it from seed in there just about a month ago. I just wanted to see what would happen with it in the greenhouse with the extended kind of season. The ones outside are producing loads of fruit. I'll do a separate squash video to follow on from the previous one that I did as well, and we'll highlight these ones. Next to that, we have another de España, and look at that. They're amazing. I didn't expect any fruit off them. This one's only got one on it that I can see. Probably that's why it's so big. But they're looking lovely. I can't wait for them to ripen and get them used in some cooking. Over here we have a Padron. This one has been getting picked to death. They're lovely. Just frying them up with olive oil in a pan. For some reason mine are extremely hot, which I think I've mentioned already as well. It doesn't matter what side I pick them at, they just seem to all be hot. I haven't had a mild one yet. So you're supposed to have 1 in 10 of these is supposed to be hot. I'm getting probably about the opposite of that. I'm getting about 1 in 10 being mild, which is saying something. I know you can see down there. They're absolutely loaded with fruit as well, that they are. I refuse to call them pods. The fruit on them is incredible. I've got 3 of these plants. I thought if I got 3 of them, I would get plenty of fruit, and Jesus, I have. I mean, we've picked this one and the other 2 probably about 4 or 5 times now, and we've had these fried up with olive oil and salt as an accompaniment to meals. In fact, one last night, quite a few times, and I'll definitely be growing these again next year. They're amazing. I really like them. Next up we have an Onivec. This one I got from Real Seeds down in Wales, and these are good too. This one here hasn't started to ripen yet, but the one in the big polytunnel I'll show you in a little bit. This was part of a chili taste test I did the other night as well, with one that had ripened through by, and it was lovely. It wasn't as hot as the Prairie Fire, but it was very tasty. It tasted like a very ripe sweet jalapeno, which was good. Next to this we have a Bartlett's Bonnet, and this one is the one that we've been having problems with. We're getting small flowers on it now, as you can see. It took a long time to get flowers, and then they all fell off, and then it took a longer time again to make more. And this is one of those ones that needs a long season, so I'm quite worried about this one giving us anything fruit-wise this year. But we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. I think the greenhouse will probably give them until about October, so we've probably got another 2 or 3 months left. So we'll give it that chance to see what happens. Moving on round the other side, we've got this one, which is a Ring of Fire. We've also moved this one. It's the same with the Bartlett's Bonnet. I just shown you we moved this one out of the big greenhouse because it's a jungle in there, and you will see why in a minute. As you can see, this one's absolutely overloaded with fruit as well. Fruit, not pods, and fantastic. I had one of these as a taste test the other night. One of these had ripened, and it was fiery, very fiery. Again, not in super hot territory, but definitely jalapeno-like, cayenne-like. The higher end of the jalapeno scale, obviously the lower end of the cayenne scale. And I can't wait for these to ripen and to get some sauces made from them. Next to that we have another Ring of Fire. Difference between these 2, this one's in a pot and this one is in the ground, and it is also giving us tons of fruit, not pods. So this one here, the fruit seems to be a little bit longer and thinner in the ground, which I don't know. The plant's about the same size. It's got about the same amount of fruit. This one seems to have more of all these little strange tiny ones ripening all of a sudden, which I've noticed with some other plants, but we'll see what happens with this. But again, I'm looking forward to these 2. These are going to be amazing. This one here is Surprise Chili. I may have mentioned it before. I planted this one in this greenhouse in March as an experiment, just to see exactly what kind of difference this greenhouse makes that I've got if I keep it sealed and we plant stuff in there. And this is the second attempt, because early March I put one in and it died very quickly, and then late March I put this one in and it stayed very small. It stayed about this small for a long time, and it's just probably in the last 3 weeks it started growing, and it is now outstripped this Ring of Fire. It's dwarfing it. It's dwarfing the California Wonder at the back of it, and it's dwarfing the Zulu to the left of it. It's basically starting to shade them out. And I don't know what it is yet. I'm thinking it might be actually a Bartlett's Bonnet, because the leaves and the growth pattern look very similar, as you can see from there to here. So it might be one of them, and if it is one of them, then bonus. Maybe we'll get 2 lots of fruit from them if we persevere. And this one, again, it was here late March, which is still winter here. So it will probably last through to, it's been quite hardy, so it'll probably last through to October and maybe beyond into November. we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this one. This California Wonder at the back is doing a little bit better than the previous one I showed you. It's got lots bigger fruit on it, and it's also in need of support because the weight of the fruit is just basically dropping it. Next to that one we have the other Zulu, which I told you about. This one isn't needing support just yet, but it's got 3 very large fruits on it. So we're going to see what happens with those. I mean, I can probably use them now in something. I'll need to think of a recipe. Next to that we have an Etudia chili, pepper, and these ones are absolutely huge as well. This is the only Etudia I've got that survived last winter. These are very thick walled and very big, as you can see, big handful there. These right into yellow, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so that's the small greenhouse taken care of. I need to get out of here. It's starting to get really hot. I shut the door because it was banging in the wind, and now the sweat is running off of me and it's starting to get a little bit opaque. So we'll move into the big greenhouse, the jungle, and have a look at that. Before we actually go into the big greenhouse, this is a plant that I've taken out for the minute because I needed to make a little bit of room inside, but it's just to give you a close-up view while it's out here of what's going on with it. This is a big bomb. This is from the South Devon chili farm, and as you can see, look at those big fat these are pepperdew type chilies. So these are the ones that you'll usually find in supermarkets, stuffed with cream cheese and pickled or whatever. We've already picked a couple of this, and I did a taste test on one of them the other night, and they're about as hot as jalapeno. They shouldn't really be as hot as jalapeno. They should be maybe a bit less, probably about 5,000 scovels, but for some reason, as I said, all of my stuff is very, very hot. I don't know if it's just because I'm not being very good at watering them. I've heard that starving them a little bit of water kind of builds the capsaicin up, so we'll see what happens with those. And here it is, the jungle. It got very overgrown in here, so I've had to move and jiggle some things about. I've moved about four or five pepper plants into my partner's greenhouse across the way because they were getting too crowded in here. So I mean, as you can see, look at this, it's crazy. Ooh. So I feel like David Attenborough. No gorillas. But anyway, I'll just take you around some of the plants in here. I won't bore you with all of them because there's 48, there'll now be 43, 42 plants in here. So I won't go through all of them, but I'll pick out the ones that are relevant. Look at the sweat, it's very, very hot here. So we have to start with this one. This is my Brazilian starfish, and this just seemed to grow and grow and grow and not produce any flowers whatsoever. It did produce a few spindly ones when it was yay height, and they then fell off, but then it had this massive growth spurt, and all of this good weather that we've had, it's just shot up again. I think it's grown a foot in the last 2 weeks. So I thought I'd have a wee look and see if we had any fruit on it the other day, because I can see lots of flowers, lovely beautiful big flowers. And then I started spotting the fruit, and they're quite hard to spot at first because of the way they're shaped. They kind of look like leaves from a certain angle. They're beautiful. This is one here, probably the biggest one I've spotted so far, if we can see it. There it is. And I'm looking forward to these ripening. Again, I don't expect these ones to be very hot, but as I've said, everything seems to be very hot when it doesn't need to be. This is one of my sort of mini jalapenos. This is a lemon giant. This is from Fatale seeds. I got quite a few seeds from Fatale this year. Just jalapenos mainly, and this is one of them. This is one of the better looking ones. The walls of these ones aren't quite as thick as the Geloros, which I'll show you in a minute. They look very similar, but these ones feel a little bit thinner. The Geloros are absolutely solid. Behind these we have, on not so healthy looking plants, we've got some New Mex Pinata chilies, which also came from Fatali, and we'll see how they all turn out. I love jalapenos. I don't know about anybody watching this, but they're my favourite fruit. I'll show you a couple of the other ones that we got. So over here, this one here is the farmer's market potato. So I'm waiting on these starting to cork. They haven't quite done it yet. I think it's just maybe because they're not in full sun. I think they need full sun to cork. It's a kind of protection mechanism. But I'm looking forward to that happening and watching it happen. It should be fun. And the aforementioned Jaloro is here. And as you can see, they all look very similar. It looks very similar to the Lemon Giant, but these are solid. You can see that they're not as thin-walled on the outside. We've had some of these already. I made a salsa last night with some of them for having with nachos alongside the padrones, and they were tasty as. No self-respecting chili grower would be without African Bird's Eye, Peri Peri. I've got two different kinds here that I bought from two different seed suppliers, because it's a very broad name, you know, an African Bird's Eye. I mean, there's lots of different sort of subgroups of them. There's the Mozambique version that ChilliChump is quite fond of, that he brought back from Mozambique and grows and highlights on his channel. Have a look at ChilliChump's channel if you haven't. So this is the one, and here's the other one. And you can see this one's a lot taller, and the fruit is a lot more sort of upright, and these look more like sort of bird's eye chilies that you would imagine being in the supermarket. So yeah, even though I've got them from different suppliers, they both call them African Bird's Eye. They're two very different plants, and so I'll be checking out to see what the difference is in taste between them, but these are going to make some lovely sauces. Another plant I'm looking forward to, or another chili I'm looking forward to at least becoming ripe, is the Chihole Negro, or Chihuahua Negro as they call it. I call it just Chihuahua. So these are ones that are used in Mexican cooking to make mole. They're basically dried and added to stews and sauce mixes, etc. And we don't have any ripe at the minute, but we've got quite a few growing on this one plant. I've got two plants. There's another one back there. Oh dear, we've had a little bit of a disaster. One of them's fell off and it's not ripe yet. Damn, what a shame. Never mind. I'll have a cut open of this later on just to see what it looks like inside. I probably won't film that, but maybe I will. We'll see. Another one that no self-respecting chili grower should be without is cayenne, of course. And these are sort of a staple for sauce makers. They're a real go-to chili for everything. You can use these in anything. They're probably the most versatile ones, just slightly ahead of jalapenos. But I've got two of these plants, and they're both so far very prolific. There's a lot of fruit on them, and that's not it there. It must be over here. Yeah, this one here is kind of collapsed in on. The other one, we've got quite a few ripe ones coming through. Looking forward to that. The only one that's got more chilies on it are the Ring of Fires at the minute, but I'm sure there's still more flowers to come on this one. It's still growing up, so as those ones come ripe, we should get a few more. There's already some smaller ones coming through, so looking forward to that as well. Over here in the corner, we've got a few plants that are kind of worrying me a little bit because they've been very slow to produce. Some of them are coming good now, which is okay. I'm happy with that, but we are still waiting, still worried about a couple of those. We have two of these plants. These are Puma, as you can see, with the curly leaves. These were badly attacked. Some of these were badly attacked by aphids, but we resolved that issue by accident. I don't know if we can see any of them flying around, but we've got a lot of hoverfly in here and a lot of hoverfly larvae. Leaving the greenhouse window open has helped with that, so they've come in and done a good job, because we've hardly got any aphids now. But as I say, the damage is already sort of being done. We've got a few on that one. Not many on there. So yeah, that one and this one next to it. This is a it says lemon giant, but I don't think it is a lemon giant jalapeno. I think this one is lemon drop, and I've mislabeled it. So, but that one's now got fruit coming on it, which is good. I'm happy with that one. This Puma doesn't have any. The other one does, so it's not all a bad story. The other one is growing fruit, and quite successfully. So far, it's a lot smaller than this one, but this one's had to reach up a little bit for the light, being buried in the corner the way it is. Over here, we have a Machu Picchu ones. They're quite rare actually, and supposedly they're quite hard to germinate. I didn't have any problem with them this year, but I am having a problem getting them to fruit. And wow, there we go, problem solved. Look at that, we've got fruit. Haha, that's a nice surprise. So that's doing, is that the Machu Picchu? No, it's not. Okay, right, that's fine. So this is the Machu Picchu here. The other one out there is actually giving us problems. I'm quite happy to see that one. That's a coffee bean. I'll come to that in a minute. So yeah, the Machu Picchu, there's no sign of any flowers on it. I think we're not going to get much luck off it. I've got another one in the greenhouse further along, and it's suffering the same way, so I don't know what's going to happen with them. We'll turn our attention here to the coffee bean. Once we straighten the leaves out. So the coffee bean, I saw a little fruit in there. Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. Oh, and I see more down, further down. Ah, there they are. Awesome. So that one's now coming good. These fruits don't get very big, so they'll probably get to about probably triple the size that they are at the minute. And you can see they're about the size of my fingernail. So they'll get a wee bit bigger, and then they'll be good. After that, and here we have this is a hot chocolate. This is a it's another one that struggled, and now look at that. See, when I say I'm struggling to get fruit off them, and then all of a sudden I look at them and it gets covered in fruit. Awesome. Fruit, not pods. So yeah, that's good. Down at the back here we've got Basket of Fire, which is similar to the Prairie Fire. And over here we have another hot chocolate. So, not struggling anymore then. Gee, this is good. I should make more videos like this. So this one is I don't remember what this one is. I think this one is a Prairie Fire. There's another Basket of Fire in the back there, and it's doing very well now as well. So the problem corner is no longer the problem corner, and there's a lot of fruit coming on them. So I can't argue with that. Oh, one I nearly forgot to mention are these ones here. I wanted to grow these specifically because they look amazing when they're ripe. They're very juicy and they make great sauces. And these are ahi chombo, and this didn't look like it was going to have fruit, but all of a sudden they started appearing, and now it's covered in them, and hopefully it won't be too long before they're ripe as well. So apart from one wee mishap, everything seems to have come along nicely in here. I was quite surprised at that. I was going to show, part of the video was going to be showing problem plants that aren't giving us any fruit, and fruit not pods, and they all have fruit all of a sudden, which is nice. Nice surprise for me. Anyway, I'll do another one of these updates probably next month and see how they're getting along. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like this video. I'm going to do a lot more content along these lines, and probably along the link with the squashes as well, because that's another big thing of mine. And I'll probably do a walkthrough of the entire allotment, showing you the range of things that we've got going on here and the things that you can do with whatever space you can find, really. So yeah, keep watching, keep tuned, and subscribe please, and ring the little bell. Right, thank you.